Okay, so I was going to do a video here with Picasso, and talking about heels. His dad was asking me about that. Hey, how are we going to get him to heel? And so let's go over working with him, training with him. Let's see how he does. So let's just put a slip lead on him and we'll start working on this. So before I work with the dog, I want the dog in a calm space. I got Palo over here. He's just laying in his bed. So I'm going to go get him out of his bed. What's up, buddy? We start training with him. When I approach him and he rolls his belly over and he's like wanting a belly rub. This is how much does he actually want a belly rub and how much is he trying to please people? And this is just what he thinks people want. As this is what a lot of people are primarily going to engage with the dog through petting. Their fur feels soft and fuzzy. Um, but I know, like in the video you saw, if you saw my last video about teaching heel, I know that if I just pet Emma all the time, like it would not be the dog that she is today. If I kind of put my need for love and affection and petting her above her need to have training and clarity and biological fulfillment, she'd be a great dog. She'd be sweet, but she wouldn't have the obsession with obedience she has. That comes because I've told her, hey, I really like this. This is important to me. It's like a parent who does homework with their kid and takes them to play sports versus just gives them ice cream and candy. The kid learns, hey, mom and dad, they like it when I do school. They like it when I learn. They like it when I do sports. So, first thing I'm going to do with him is start working with him on shaping a little bit of him walking next to me with food and just talk a little bit about luring. So, one of the best things to do with your dog is just practice luring when you want to work on a heel, because that's going to help them understand how to stay focused and stay focused on a reward treat. So all I'm gonna do, and I'm just using a slip lead. I tend to not really use food when I'm using the Heather's Heroes sidekick lead. Treat. So he's gonna walk next to me. I'm gonna hold the food 2 to 3 inches from his nose. Treat. I'm gonna say treat. Let him have the food. Good, good, good. Treat. I want you guys to focus on how I only use marker words with him. I'm not saying his name. I'm just saying good, 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 good. Treat. So I'm saying good when he's doing it right, and I'm not giving him any food. Good, good, good. Treat. And then I'm saying treat. Do you notice I'm saying treat? Then I pull my hand back. Good, 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 good. Treat. Okay. When I treat and I pull the food back a little bit, I'm making the food a lot more exciting for him. It's giving him a chance to chase the food. Okay. So when I say the word treat, the dog is inspired to move forward and get the food. If all I do is good and I give room service to the dog and I'm constantly putting the food in the dog's mouth, the dog will not develop this obsessive enthusiasm for the food reward and doing things with a level of enthusiasm of like, oh man, I'm going to get to chase that food. Treat. And we've seen this with Paulo, like the way we present food, it can kind of calm him out if it's too boring. I'm not using his kibble. I mean, I'll pull out kibble in a second. Treat. We could see if I'm right or wrong, but my intuition is he's kind of conked out on kibble right now. To get a dog to have enthusiasm towards kibble, you either need that dog that was just built with an insane obsession with food, which there are those dogs out there, um, that no matter how much you feed them, they will just inhale anything. But if you don't have that dog, which is a lot of breeds, they were not designed to be obsessed with food, you will notice treat that the dog, if you give them too much food, too much kibble, if you don't routinely train them with kibble and present it in a good way, treat, they will not be that interested in training for kibble. So even the fact that I started with treats, and now maybe I'll mix kibble and treats together, even that will entice them a little bit more. Treat. So all I'm doing, folks, is walking in an unpredictable pattern. And when he moves into this position, treat, I'm saying treat and I'm giving him food. So you saw me doing it one way where I had food in my hand, treat. And I'm going to show you in a second doing it without food in my hand. But I also want to emphasize, why am I pulling the food backwards? If we take a step back and we look at our dog and we ask our dog, hey, has anything good ever come from you being behind me or right next to me? The dog's going to go, no. Nothing good has ever come from me being right here or behind you. All the petting, all the treats, everything happens when I'm in front of you. Treat, even you throw the ball when I'm in front of me, or you throw the frisbee in this guy's case. So we have to understand, like, we have to create value in the dog's mind. Hey, being here is good. When you're right here, I'll throw the frisbee. When you're right here, I'll throw the frisbee backwards. When you're right here, treat, I'll move the food backwards. The dog starts thinking, wow, there's a lot of potential for good things happening behind. And so when let's go treat, and we move the food backwards after saying treat, we're showing the dog, hey, there is a lot of value in being in this general area. Good boy, good. Now, there I did say let's go to kind of cue him that I was working on walking, but you'll notice I'm not saying heel yet. He doesn't know heel yet. And I want to make this really clear for mom and dad, because I mean, I love them dearly, but I have seen this happen, and it's not just them, it happens all the time. Good boy, good boy, good boy, good boy. Treat before we've mastered just the basic thing of telling the dog good, and the dog goes, man, that's good. Treat, and the dog's like, I get a reward. Good, good, good. Treat, no, and like that's the wrong thing to do. We start saying commands to the dog, before we've mastered the leash and how to make the dog do it. And pretty soon what happens, the dog gets confused. They're like, I don't get it. Like sometimes you say this, I do it. Sometimes I don't do it. Sometimes you say it 3 times. We're not going to have that consistency. Treat. And what's coming to me right now is like confusion will not make your dog want to train more. It'll make them want to train less. They're going to be like, this is confusing to me. I don't get it. Treat. And I'm guilty of this for years. I would repeat commands with my dogs. I wouldn't say treat. I wouldn't say or no. It was just always like down, 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 and then they do it down. Or I'd go down, and then I'd say it with like a more intense tone. Good boy, good boy, good boy. So after working with him for a little bit, I get the food out of my hand. You'll notice the pouch is open. Good, good, good. Treat. Good, good, good. Treat. So let's go over that. Good, good, good. Treat. Then I reach in. Then I give him food. Okay. And this is why we say excellence is the master of the basics, right? I need to master this idea that Pavlov came up with a long time ago, which is there's a sound and then the reward comes. If I treat and reach into my pouch at the same time, he is not going to understand that it's the moment I said treat that later led to a reward, and several things are going to happen. He's going to be staring at my hand all the time, waiting to see when my hand goes in the pouch. If I don't have the pouch right here visible, he's going to be like, oh, there's no way I can get a reward, because when they put their hand in the pouch, I know that I have gotten the reward. Good boy. Good. Treat. Another thing that happens too is like the dog, they just never learn the marker word. It's like if Pavlov rang the bell and gave the dog food at the same time, he would have never discovered anything. He only discovered that because he rang the bell. He did not give food. He then gave food, and he started to be aware. Oh, the dog is aware of this sound means food, even when the dog can't see the food. So that's the other thing. When there's always a hand in the pouch, as soon as the dog can't see our hand in our pouch, they're just like, I'm done. Why would I wait to listen to the sound of this person's voice? Good, good, good. Treat. I reach in, I pull my hand back. So you've seen me lure him by having my hand 2 to 3 inches from the front of his nose. And now you see me walk like this. Good boy, good boy, good boy, good boy. Treat. Now, if you haven't figured out by now, I'm doing this in kind of 2 different ways. I'm walking straight like this. Good, good, good. Treat. And then I'm turning and I'm walking straight back. Good boy, good boy, good boy, good boy. Treat. So I'm walking forward. Good boy, good boy, good boy, good boy. Good, good, good. Treat. I'm just walking forward and backwards in a straight line. Okay. The other thing I'm doing is I'm kind of evading him and I'm purposefully moving away from him. And good job, buddy. Good, 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 good. Treat. So I'm moving in a non predictable direction. And he's like following me as I'm turning. I'm moving away from him. Good, good, good. Treat. I could even, without saying good, just say treat the moment he's in this position. Treat. Now, let's just go over what we've gone over. Treat, reach in, give food. If the food's in my hand, treat, and I move my hand. Treat, move my hand. I'm gonna fake him out there. Okay. Now you might be wondering, why isn't Eric using the leash, but the leash is on the dog? What I see time and time again is we only use the leash when the dog is acting up. The dog's following us around the house. We don't have a leash on the dog. He already follows us around the house. We don't have a leash on him. We put him outside. There's distractions. He doesn't want to be around us. We put a leash on him. The dog quickly learns, man, when the leash is on, there's distractions. They're using the leash to stop me from doing what I want. But if we just put the leash on the dog when we're working with them, training with them, playing with them, the dog starts learning, man, when the leash is on, I pay attention to my owner. Treat. When the leash is on, that means they have good things. When the leash is on, that means just paying attention to them. Like there's no conflict. There's nothing else I want. Man, paying attention to this person's awesome. They challenge me a little bit. They make me overcome a little bit of a challenge. And the next thing you know, I'm getting food. But if I never put the leash on the dog, except when I'm frustrated or except when I take them out around distractions, what starts happening is the dog's like, man, as soon as I put that leash on me, if something exciting is going to happen, and it's not you, it's something over there. And as soon as the leash is on the dog starts pulling, they start getting distracted. We're starting to use the leash to try to force them to pay attention to us. It's not necessary. If we just practice with the dog on the leash in low distraction environments, the dog will form a good association. And then if we start using leash pressure with the dog, just in training exercises, making little distractions that are doable, the dog, when later we yank on the leash, is going to be like, oh, sorry about that. I got distracted. I really want to be with you. Not, oh man, I really want to go over there, but this stupid leash is forcing me to stay with this person that, if it was up to me, I'd walk away. So now I'm going to just go over a little bit of how I would use the leash to kind of pull him into this position. And then I would say treat. Realize that's going to be harder because now I'm having to use two hands on the leash. I can't do the old, wrap the leash up in my hand. It's not going to be the right length. What I have to start mastering is holding the leash with my left hand, my right hand, letting go of the leash and giving food. But this is the other thing. If we've conditioned ourselves that every time we have a leash on the dog, we're bracing for impact, we won't be able to let go of the leash. We're going to have fear that as soon as we let go of the leash, the dog's going to pull, they're going to lunge, they're going to get away from us, they're going to start putting the brakes on. So that's why for us, it's important we practice handling the leash when we're not stressed and there's not distractions. We practice tightening the leash when the dog is not stressed and we're not stressed. So we understand how much we tighten it and then we can let go of it and give the dog food. So watch me, I pull the leash, treat, I give him food. Now he's offering me this behavior. And this is where, good boy, good treat. There is no opportunity for me to really pull on the leash right now because he's doing it perfect. So what I have to do is make a distraction, like I talked about earlier. Break, I toss a piece of food, I pull the leash this way, I have the food in my hand, treat. He moves into position, I give him the food. Break, I toss a kibble, pull the leash, back up, he moves into position, treat, I give him a treat. So think about that. If I use kibble, toss, he moves away, pull the leash, he moves into position, treat. He starts learning, oh my God, what this guy has is better than what's over there. I go away from him, I get a kibble, but when I come over to him, I get treats. Good boy. Once we started teaching the dog, like, hey, what I have is better than what's away from me, that will carry forth into training for the life of the dog. But if we're constantly going, hey, I got food, and the dog's like, I don't want food, I want to go play with that dog, pretty soon the food is like kind of a trick to the dog. Good, good, good. Good boy. Treat. So right there, he got distracted. I just tugged on the leash. He looked up. I said treat. Good, 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 good. Treat. People are going to ask, Eric, why are you not saying heal? Because unless I love the way he's doing it, and unless I'm willing to bet you $100 he's going to do it, I'm not going to name it yet. Okay. Break. The big myth, which dog trainers hate to hear, though it does give us job security. So I pull on the leash. Treat. The big myth is like the dog knows the command, but he just doesn't do it. I mean, that's like me going, yeah, I know that a stoplight means stop, but I just don't stop at a stoplight. Somebody who understands the stoplight means stop, they're going to stop. That's what a stoplight means. The person who runs through the stoplight, they don't think that the stoplight means stop. They think it means like stop unless there's nobody else in traffic. They think it's stop unless you're in a rush. They don't really understand that it's stop every time, no matter what, or there's going to be a consequence. Good, 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 good. Treat. Good, 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 good. Break. Pull the leash. Treat. Now, what did I do there? I said break and then I tossed food. So that's another way you can release the dog. Good. Uh, uh. He's looking up. Break. I mark that he did it right. The reward is he gets to chase this piece of food. He moves back into position. Treat. One way to think about this is like, say I put him in a down. Down. No. Down. Break. So one way of thinking about this break is the release is the reward. Hey, lay down and then I will release you to do what you want. Down, treat, break. So when I have the dog released as a reward, that's another marker word. You've heard me use four marker words here. No, maybe I've said no, I don't know. Good, meaning keep doing it. I may pay you, I may not pay you, but you're doing good, keep it up. Yes, or treat means I'm going to pay you every single time. And then break means I'm releasing you to go away from me and get whatever you want as the reward. So break, I toss food. He moves next to me. Treat. So think about this way, and I'm going to end the video here. Let's say my dog really wants to go say hi to a dog. Let's say my dog really wants to say hi to a person, but I want them to pay attention to me. I want it to be clear. Hey, look up at me, pay attention to me, and then I will let you go say hi to that person over there, or I will let you go say hi to a dog. How do I teach the dog that if you look up at me and pay attention to me, I will give you access to the world around me? And avoid that problem of a dog staring and staring and obsessing and obsessing and obsessing. And I can't get them to pay attention to me around distractions. The key is that marker word break. You get the dog to understand if I look up at you and I do the command, you will release me to do whatever I want to do. Okay. Without a release word, the dogs will become confused. I screwed my own dogs up in the past that way. I didn't always have a release word. Sometimes I'd put them in a down and they were expected to stay. Sometimes I'd put them in a down and then I'd get up and walk away and I expected them to come with me. Good. I'm actually going to stop the session here when he still wants to work more and there's a little bit of gas in the tank. And Paulo's like, hey, man, I still want to train. So the only way I can tell the dog, hey, do this thing I'm asking you to do, pay attention to me, and then I'll let you have access to squirrels, birds, that person over there is through a release marker word where the dog understands, hey, if they say release, if they say okay, if they say break, they are releasing me, and that is a reward. I get freedom, I get liberty to go access whatever I want. And if I had a toy, I could say break and throw the toy. If I had food, I could say break and give food. If the dog wants to say hi to a person, break, the dog goes up to a person. Really, when I say break, it's I'm just telling the dog, hey, whatever reward it is you want right now, just go get it. That's the reward. And sometimes that's smelling. So if we don't have marker words, treat, no, break, good, teaching the heel is going to be really hard for the dog and for us. We're going to find ourselves making progress and then sliding back, making progress and sliding back. But if we have clear marker words and we use like enough food where the dog's pretty motivated and we just practice in a controlled environment like this, pretty soon the dog's like, man, I love looking at this person. I love walking next to them. And then we start naming it and we start calling it heel. Maybe in the next session, I'd call it heel when he's doing it perfectly. But the other reason I don't want to name it is because what people are seeing right here is you're not just seeing the dog, you're seeing 10 years of experience with leash pressure, marker words, reward placement, luring, building a relationship. You're seeing all that. you're just not aware that that's what you're seeing. And so what happens if I make this video, mom and dad are going to take the dog home. I start saying heel. The dog's like looking up at me. He's doing amazing. I start saying heel. He's like, I know what that means. I'm doing it perfect. Mom and dad are going to go home. He's not quite there yet. They're not quite at the same skill level that I'm at, which I don't expect them to be. I'm a professional dog trainer, but they still have a couple boxes to check off. Oh, hey, honey, are we being consistent about the marker words? Hey, are we using this leash pressure in the right way? Hey, are we giving him so much freedom to the point that when we want to train with him, he's kind of already bored because he's just been doing whatever he wants all day? Hey, do we only put the leash on him when he's, you know, outside in the real world? What'll happen is you'll start naming heel, and he's not going to be doing a heel. You're going to start saying it 2 or 3 times. It's like they say, old habits die hard, and you're going to start repeating heel, and then he's going to become thoroughly confused. And he's like, I don't know. Sometimes they say heel, I'm looking over there. Sometimes they say heel, I'm looking up. I have no idea. So, I mean, we have to remember, right? Like dogs don't talk to each other in words. So for a dog to understand commands and to understand words like consistently, like that is kind of asking a lot from a dog that never evolved on their own to understand words. I mean, even wolves, they don't communicate vocally like we do with our dogs. Um, so, you know, but I want to show this video to show you, hey, the heel can be taught pretty quickly when we do everything properly, when we do everything perfectly. And that's the thing. It's not about practice makes perfect. We've all been told this, practice makes perfect, practice makes perfect. It's actually not true. Perfect practice makes perfect. And so if you guys at home are doing these reps and you're not seeing what I'm seeing, you have to ask yourself, hey, what am I not doing right? Am I doing this perfectly? Am I marking and then putting my hand in and then rewarding? Am I saying treat and then pulling the hand away? Am I using the leash on when the dog doesn't need it? Um, am I saying good when the dog's doing good? I can't tell you how many times the dog does it perfect and the people ignore the dog. I can't tell you how many times I'm doing a session and I'm going, good job, good job, good job. Tell the dog they're doing good. And we just struggle telling them that they're doing it good. Or how many times I'm like, just tell them no. And the person's saying the dog's name. They're making like weird sounds. It's like they're doing anything other than just making it super simple. Good, no, treat, break. Good boy. Break. So I'm releasing him to get whatever reward he wants. At this point, it's the reward in my hand. I personally prefer to use the treat word, and I always give treats and I always give food whenever I say treat. I prefer to use get it. And whenever I say that, I'm always going to give the dog a toy. I'm never going to fake them out. And then I use good, which is like, hey, maybe I'll give you food, but in general, I'm probably not going to give you food. But if you keep doing this, you will get a reward. Things will go smoothly. You won't get in trouble. And then I use break to indicate, hey, whatever you want. You know, if I have food and you want food, if I have a toy, you want a toy. If there's a dog over there, break is go get whatever reward you want. Good boy, huh? You see how he still wants to train. He's engaged. He's calm. He's in a really good space. I'm going to pull the camera over here just so you can see his affect. Because it's so important. Like, is that the affect we're seeing in the dog? Notice how he stares at my hand in the pouch so much versus my eyes. The only way the dog's going to look at our eyes is through marker words. Treat. He looks up at my eyes. I say treat. I give him food. As much as we do want to lure the dog a lot, this is a piece of kibble I'll lure him with. Good boy. Good, 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 good. Treat. As much as we're going to lure with the hand, we want to be clear that like the goal is not for the dog to look at our hand. The goal is for the dog to look up at us and then hear that sound treat that we've taught them initially by them like following our hand around, making it really clear for them. Hey, you do something, you hear the sound, you get food. Good boy. But you see his affect here. He wants to train more. So we end on a high note. We avoid the temptation to try to do this more with the risk that he might fail. We always want the session to be like 85% successful. And I believe that this session we did with him was 85% successful. If you have watched the video this long, yeah, I would say you're in the very high percentage of, you're in a very small percentage of dog owners that is willing to watch something for 24 minutes and listen, pay attention, take notes, feel your mind get scrambled, be like, what is it? What did he say? What the hell? Maybe feel frustrated, maybe feel confused. You're in that small percentage that today is going, I really want to do this right. I really want this. I want to master this hobby of training my dog. And in this particular case, it's beautiful because it's not, oh my God, I have to do this because the dog's crazy. It's more like, God, this couple's just going, man, we really want that dog. We want that dog that goes everywhere, that can be left behind. They can walk on leash, can walk off leash, can be good with kids, good with dogs, can ignore kids, can ignore dogs. We just want that self-driving Tesla of a dog. Well, let me reframe that. Maybe that's self-driving, um, whatever the Waymo, which is actually self-driving. Um, the Tesla, there's some controversy about how safe that self-driving mode is. So I digress, but I hope you guys appreciated this video, and thanks for putting up with me and listening to me and my annoying rants on dog training. Okay, I'll see you then. Take